Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are turning our focus to an organization that, according to a flood of insider reports, is in a state of, well, escalating internal chaos. We're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's right. It's a critical moment for them. We've gathered a stack of reports that really paint a picture of intense pressure, conflicting messages, and some pretty serious leadership questions.
So our mission today is to cut through all that noise.
Exactly. We're going to unpack the coaching changes, look at the financial reasons why the organization seems, a bit paralyzed, and then analyze the potential replacement that everyone's talking about. We'll guide you through what it all means for where this team is heading.
And the turbulence is, it's very real. After a disastrous road trip, the pressure cooker just exploded. The first move was firing the power play coach, Mark Savard.
Yeah.
But the big question everyone is asking is, was that enough? Or was that just the team buying itself a couple of days of quiet? Okay, let's unpack this.
The feeling from every source we looked at was that something had to give. The organization was at a point where they were being forced to act immediately.
And the quickest, easiest move they could make, the first domino to fall, was letting Mark Savard go.
It's the most accessible action. The power play was objectively terrible, so it's a clean, justifiable firing. It shows accountability.
But this didn't come out of nowhere, right? The insiders were all over this.
Oh, for sure. Elliot Freeman's report just before it happened was so telling. He said if things didn't get better, the team would face exponential questions they really didn't want to answer.
Exponential questions. That's a phrase that suggests this goes way, way beyond just the power play.
It does. And then you had Jonas Siegel on the Leaf report, who was even more direct. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I would not be surprised if we see a coaching change this week."
And they got one, just maybe not the one everyone was expecting.
Well, that's the real story, isn't it? The reaction from fans, from the media.
Right.
It was a universal no. This wasn't enough.
It felt like a token move.
Completely. The reports all frame it as the first domino to fall. It was the organization doing just enough to say, look, we did something. Are you happy now?
But strategically, doesn't that buy them a little time? It deflects the pressure from the head coach and management, even if it's just for a day or two.
It does buy them time, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. It fixes a symptom.
Yeah.
Firing the power play coach isn't going to magically make them beat the Penguins 8-0 next week.
Right.
It sidesteps the much bigger, much more expensive problem. The head coach, Craig Berube.
And that takes us right to the main event, the hot seat. This is where the reports start to get really contradictory, and you can almost feel the political battle happening inside the organization.
It's fascinating. You have two completely different narratives about Berube's job security right after that road trip.
Let's start with the hot seat side of things.
Okay, so you have Chris Johnson's report, which said the seat is quite hot. He explicitly called the Savard firing a warning shot.
A warning shot. So a direct message to Berube.
A direct message. Johnson said that management still believes he can guide the team, but that his future now completely depends on turning things around quickly. Those losses have real consequences now.
So he's basically on a game-to-game contract at this point.
It seems like it. But then you had this other report from Darren Dreger, which came out right around the same time.
He said the complete opposite.
Pretty much. He said there was no sense that Berube will be relieved of his duties, that the organization was holding the line.
So how can both of those things be true? You've got two plugged-in reporters hearing completely different things. What does that tell you?
It tells you there's a serious conflict at the very top, specifically with the ownership group, with MLSE. They are extremely reluctant to make a move.
And it comes down to money and history.
It always does. Berube's not even 2 years into a 4-year contract.
Right.
That's a massive financial hit to take.
And they're still paying for the last guy, aren't they? The Mike Babcock situation looms large.
It looms very large. They absolutely do not want to be paying out another high-priced coach while also paying a new one. That previous mistake, that sunk cost, it makes them incredibly risk-averse right now.
So firing Savard wasn't just a hockey move, it was a financial one, a cost mitigation strategy.
100%.
Oh.
It was an attempt to stop the bleeding with the absolute minimum financial damage.
Which brings us back to that warning shot. It seems the analysis is pretty clear. If this team doesn't start winning immediately, the organization is just going to have to swallow that financial pill, and Craig Berube is.
He's definitely next, there's no doubt.
So if we all agree the clock is ticking on the head coach, the next obvious question is, who's out there? And here's where it gets really interesting, because a name has already surfaced.
That's right. Almost immediately, Nick Alberga's report came out and floated Pete DeBoer's name as a real option for the Leafs.
Okay, so for anyone listening who doesn't follow all the coaching free agents, let's just lay out who DeBoer is, why him, why now.
Well, first and foremost, he's available. He's not coaching right now. And he brings a ton of experience. Like, we're talking nearly 2 decades as a head coach.
And he has a very specific track record, right?
He does. He's kind of like a Peter Laviolette type.
Yeah.
He has this history of taking teams that are really talented but are just stuck,
Yeah.
The classic first-round exit teams.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. And he gets them over that hump. He turns them into teams that make deep playoff runs, conference finals, that kind of thing. He elevates talented groups that are underperforming.
The one big catch, though.
The one big catch is that he has never won a Stanley Cup. He gets teams close, but not all the way.
And looking at what the Leafs seem to be lacking, that kind of grit and effort, his whole coaching philosophy seems to be a perfect match. There's that quote from him.
Oh, it's a great one. He said, "Hockey is a pretty simple game. You can't overcome a lack of compete."
Which is really boiling it all down, isn't it? It's not about complex systems. It's about who wants it more.
Exactly. It's demanding that basic level of hard work and mental buy-in from your star players.
But it might not be that simple. There's a big caveat to his availability right now.
Right. David Pagnotta reported that DeBoer might not even be interested in jumping into a high-pressure NHL job mid-season
Why not?
because he's apparently getting ready to coach Team Canada at the Olympics. And that's a huge deal. It's a massive honor, great visibility, and you don't have the day-to-day grind of an 82-game season.
Yeah.
So his willingness to take this job right now is a very open question.
Which leads us to the biggest question of this whole deep dive. Let's say they pay Berube to go away and they convince DeBoer to come. Would he actually fix the Toronto Maple Leafs?
And this is where the analysis and the reports gets really deep into the psychology of this roster.
Okay.
There's this growing consensus that the problem might not even be the coach anymore. It might just be the players. The phrase that keeps coming up is that too much mental damage has been done.
Mental damage. That's a heavy term. What does that mean in a hockey context?
It means that after years and years of falling short of these massive expectations, this core group might just be broken. It shows up in their inability to rise to the occasion. You look at these huge elimination games in their past where the skill is there, but that compete, that fire that DeBoer talks about, it just disappears.
They just mentally check out when things get tough.
It seems like it. They lose games they should win simply because it looks like they just don't want it as much as the other team.
And that's the real problem here, because DeBoer's philosophy of compete, hard work, that's the exact same identity Craig Berube was brought in to create.
That is the big analytical roadblock. It's the same medicine. If the team hasn't bought into this style under Berube, and their play right now suggests they haven't,
Then why would they buy into it from a new coach who's demanding the exact same thing?
exactly. You're just changing the messenger, not the message. And if the audience has already decided they don't want to hear that message, what have you really accomplished?
It feels like an exercise in futility.
The sources suggest this isn't a systems problem. It's a problem of will. It's a mental resilience problem inside that locker room.
And for anyone who's been following this team for a while, there's a really chilling piece of history that the reports bring up.
Yeah, this part is incredible.
The rumblings you're hearing right now about Pete DeBoer, they are the exact same type of rumblings insiders were hearing about Craig Berube when Sheldon Keefe was still the coach.
And those rumors about Berube turned out to be true. It's a powerful parallel. It shows you the type of coach this ownership group is looking for, even if the specific name changes. They want a demanding, compete-first guy to come in and shake things up.
So what does this all mean? What's the outlook for the rest of this season?
It means the organization is trapped. They're tracked by their own contracts and their own history. If this team just kind of flatlines and stays mid, win 2, lose 2, the analysis suggests they'll probably just stick with Berube until the end of the season.
Just to avoid taking that huge financial hit right now.
Exactly. They'd rather have expensive mediocrity than take another massive, costly gamble in the middle of the season.
So as it stands,